do think that that's absolutely possible here in 2026. It's still predicated on all of the macro events playing out, right? Until we see huge institutional flows and we see a supply shock on XRP, that's unlikely, right? We'll continue to operate in the capacity that we are now until those things play out. But when they do, you could absolutely see, a significantly higher price. On the $25, Paul Barron kind of like I don't want to say backed me into a corner because I really like Paul, but he kind of chopped the rest of the thesis out and he said, just ETF volume, what do you think we could see? And I said $25. We haven't seen that yet because the OTC desk and the dark pools haven't really been depleted. The volume from the ETFs haven't moved. They're not making purchases through the exchanges at scale to be able to drive demand and the price to that point. But once we see the depletion of the OTC desk and the dark pools, if you didn't have the additional demand from the exchanges and other institutions and other FOMO, $25 is pretty reasonable in that type of market action. I do think that it'll go substantially higher than that because I think it'll be, kind of an all-at-once deal. The reason I say that is if it's not, you're not going to see the adoption of XRP at scale for the utility that we are all hoping for. The people that might be invested in that asset and the reason they might be invested in it, if you don't see that type of institutional demand and that amount of demand all at one time, it's not going to get to the prices required for it to be able to facilitate trade at scale globally, and for it to be adopted as for back-end settlement on the stock market and for FX flows, and potentially for SWIFT. There needs to be enough liquidity in the asset for that to take place, and if you don't see, an unreasonable amount of demand on the asset with a constricted supply, you're not going to get that price level. So, I do think that that's still highly probable here in 2026. You've got all of the tailwinds to be able to push it there. Conflict in the Middle East, potentially oil rising, huge inflows to FX as people swap back from different currencies to the yen to be able to repay their loans when that unwinds.